Hello, guys. So, I hope you guys are having a great Saturday evening. So, a circumstance was brought to me that a person applying to college had, and I wanted to read this circumstance to you guys. It's a real comment from someone. This really happened to them. And what I want to do is, I want to use this person's experience to educate those of you out there who are going to be applying to college. And I want to make it so that you don't experience these problems in the college application process so you can save time, you can enjoy your summer or whatever time you get off from school, and you can successfully apply to college and get accepted. Now, of course, with college, we know that you're not guaranteed to get accepted into college. However, um, either way, I want you guys to be able to have an easier time applying to college because applying to college is very stressful. And if for some reason you find that there is any hangups during the process, it can really stress you out. And I want to help you guys to avoid that stress and be able to move through the college application process effortlessly so that you can spend your time doing what you want, and hopefully you can look forward to getting a college acceptance letter in your mail or your email box soon. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and read the scenario. I applied for the Spanish PhD program as an international student. My application wasn't even considered for admission because, according to them, something was missing. First of all, there was a huge lack of communication. They blamed me for not reading certain things about requesting a TOEFL waiver on their website, which does not appear on their website at all. They also told me that my letters of recommendation were received after the deadline, which was not true at all. When I asked for more clarifications, they pretty much started ignoring me and stopped answering my emails. They were never able to address those questions that I had, which clearly tells me my application was mishandled. They told me this will be the last email response you hear from us. You will receive an official letter from our system shortly, which I never did. I paid for an application fee basically for nothing. They could have reached out to me and simply asked me about the TOEFL waiver, since the info they provided on their website is misleading. To top things off, they had the nerve to tell me to reapply next year. But since I'm not a fan of negligence and incompetence, no thank you. The way my application was handled was abysmal. Okay, so you guys have heard this circumstance. I'm sure you guys have some thoughts about it. And feel free to share your comments about this circumstance in the comments below. Tell me, have you experienced this when it came to applying to college? Does this particular circumstance concern you because you're going to be applying to college soon and you're worried that you may run into these types of things? Tell me tell me just what do you think about this? You know, and if you have any ideas of what you feel the student should do, let me know in the comments below. How would you handle this? How would you turn it around? So, what I'm going to do is, in this video, what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to discuss a certain part of this circumstance, okay? And the sentence we're going to be focusing on in this scenario is, my application wasn't even considered for admission because, according to them, something was missing. And this is very, very, very important because you put a lot of time and effort into applying to college. It can take a while, and you have to make sure that everything is right as a part of your college application. And you do not want to get the message from a college that something is missing from your college application. because that's not only going to stress you out, it's also going to cause you to waste time trying to find information, go back and try to access your college application. What if you can't get into the college's website again to get to the application? What if you have login problems? There could be a whole, tailspin of things that could happen because something was missing from your college application. And I hope that some of you who are going to be applying to college, I hope that if this has happened to you in the past, I hope that you take these tips that I provide in this video so that you can make applying to college a easier process for you in the future. And if you've never applied to college, you can follow some of the things I'm going to share with you so that you can make sure that you can have an easier time applying to college, and you can make sure that your application successfully gets submitted, and that all you pretty much have to do is wait to find out if you're going to be getting into that college or not. Okay? Now, of course, you will have to pay to apply to a college. You will have to pay the college application fee. There are waivers that you can get if you're someone and you are applying to college. You can check with that college to see if they have a waiver for the application fee, because some colleges do. They may have ways to waive your application. If you're a student and you are in high school and you want to know how you can get your application fees waived, you can go to your college office at your high school. You can go to your guidance office. Sometimes they call the guidance department in your high school. Sometimes they call it the college office and stuff. You would go to the high school counselor who talks to you about college, and you would speak with them and you would find out how you can get a waiver for college in terms of applying to certain colleges. And they should have some information on that, and they should be able to help you get that kind of waiver. Okay? Depending on whatever college it is that you're applying to. I remember when I was in high school, I was able to get my application fees waived for some colleges. And I remember my counselor gave me this green sheet of paper. I still remember it, even though it's been so many years. She gave me this green sheet of paper, and it was really small, and I was able to get it filled out, and she helped. And then it was submitted in with all my college applications, so that there were some, not all of my college applications, but it was submitted with some of them that allowed me to be able to apply to college without having to pay the college application fee. Because college application fees can rack up. Some colleges can charge you $75 as the college application fee. That can be a lot of money if you're a teenager and you don't have the money, right? It could also be a lot of money if you're somebody, maybe you're not a teenager applying to college, but you're somebody who, you work a job and you've been out of high school for a while, and you have been working and you need money to pay your bills, and you're trying to go to college because this is a way for you to try and advance your career. And $75 or more money to apply for college could be a lot of money, and you may not have it. And so, getting that waiver can definitely help. All right, so let's go ahead and get back into the portion of this video here that we're going to be discussing, which is my application wasn't even considered for admissions because according to them, something was missing. And when we talk about the them in this case, the people saying that something was missing is the college. And what you want to do when you are communicating with a college or colleges that you are applying with, you want to stay professional. When I say professional, I mean that you want to make sure that you keep the interaction positive. And you want to present yourself as being a model student and being the type of student that they want to attend their college. And you can do this by reading about some of the students that have attended their college on their websites, typically the alumni of the colleges, to find out some of the qualities that the colleges really look for in students. And then you exemplify those qualities, or instead of saying exemplify, you present yourself with having those qualities so that you can show the college that you're worthy of getting accepted. And who knows, maybe you will get accepted into college. So, here are my ideas, guys, on how to avoid the college saying that something is missing from your college application. And for those of you who are watching this video, I hope you watch this video before you start applying to any colleges, because this can significantly help. And some of these things I'm going to mention may be helpful if maybe you started applying, but you kind of have some questions, maybe. Like if you, let's say you start the first part of a college application, you put it down and you're like, I need a little advice on continuing the application. Then maybe these are some points in here I'm going to mention. There are going to be some things you can do. All right, so the first thing you're going to do, and let's say you're somebody and you're applying to college for the first time, and you're either going to be applying to college through the college website, or you're going to be applying using a common application. That's going to be a paper application that a college can give you. Some colleges specifically have paper applications that have like their own, like, name of the college on it. It may have certain colors to it, based off of the college colors and stuff like that and things. You may get a college application along with a college brochure that you received in the mail. You may not. You may be able to go and get a college application from the college if you have that luxury. If you can't go to the college and get an application, or they can't mail you one, you can typically probably download the college application from their website, or you can probably use a college common application. So you may be able to do that. So there's different ways to get a college application, but you can apply online these days, or you can apply through the common application. However, call the college and find out if they accept the common application. Most colleges do, but call to make sure. And some colleges may even have a chat feature where you can ask someone that works for the college, and they might be able to tell you. If you don't feel like you're getting, the information you need from the chat, just pick up the phone and call the college and ask. Don't be afraid to do that. And if you're somebody, and let's say, you live in a household, and maybe your family doesn't have, the luxury of you having a cell phone, then you can always see if you can go to a local library, and see if you can use their phone, so that you can call the college and ask, to ask your questions and stuff. Especially if you have questions about like getting a college application or getting a college brochure and stuff. Sometimes if you're in high school, your high school will they'll have like brochures for a lot of colleges and stuff, and you can look through those. You may not be able to take them home, but you can look through some of the old college brochures that your high school has, and then you can get the contact information of the college, and then you can actually call the college and ask them to mail you a brochure and mail you an application. And you can even, ask your high school if you can use the phone, to be able to request a college application or college brochure, or both. And I'm sure your, college counseling office or college guidance office wouldn't mind you doing that, especially if you have to use the phone. And you're using the phone for calling the college. You're not calling to goof off or anything. You're just calling to, speak with the college and get someone on the phone. And typically the person you're going to talk to, they're going to be super nice when they answer the phone at the college. So don't worry, don't be scared. Just feel free to speak to them. Okay, let's get back to the point. My application wasn't even considered for admissions because, according to them, something was missing. So how do we avoid this? Right? Well, there's going to be some things that you're going to do before you apply that I'm going to talk you through here. I know I've said this a few times, and I'm probably going to sound like a broken record when I mention this scenario, but I just want you guys to keep that fresh in your mind, okay? So we're going to talk through some of the things you can do so that you can avoid being told by a college that something is missing. My goal is that I want you guys to apply to college, making sure your application is complete correctly. I want to make sure you have all the documents you need. I want to make sure you guys submit everything as a part of your college application before the deadlines to apply to college, because certain things along the college application process have to be received by a deadline. And if you're trying to get into the early decision for college so you can be accepted as part of the early decision program for college, then you may have to, you're going to apply a lot earlier and you're going to have a shorter deadline to apply to college versus somebody who's just applying through the regular admissions. Some people do the early decision because they want to, find out as soon as possible whether they can be accepted into college. And it's okay whether you apply through the early decision for college, like through that program, or you go through the general admissions for college. Okay? If this is your first time applying to college, you're going to be applying to get into the undergraduate program of the college, right? The undergraduate area, okay? And then you're going to make sure on your college application that you write down what major you're interested in taking up in college, okay? Some people do apply to college where they don't know what kind of major they want to get into. My recommendation is to make sure you know what college major you want to get into, because that's going to save you a lot of time. Because when you get into college, time is money. So if you're taking college classes, those classes, you want those classes to count towards a specific degree, because you have 4 years to achieve a degree. And for a lot of people, it sounds like that's a lot of time. But you have to be able to, as a part of your college degree, you have to take certain classes. And college classes are not available every semester. They're not. Some classes are available in the spring. Some are available in the fall. Some classes may be harder for you to get into. There may only be a certain amount of spots to get into that class, and you may need that class, And so, classes can get selective. And so you want to make sure that when you're going to college, you're taking those classes so that they count towards a degree. If you're somebody who say, I don't know what college major I want to get into, then you can always look on the college website and you can find a major that's close in line with something that interests you, or close in line with some type of job that you want to get into, a dream job that you want to get into, okay? And then choose your major. And if you want to take a minor, you can choose that way. You can take a major or a minor, or just take a major. Or some people double major, where they go to college and they basically, when they take classes and for each major, and by the time they graduate from college, they graduate as a double major. Okay? So, we're going to get back into these points. So, how do you avoid a college telling you that something is missing from your college application? First thing that you do is this. And I know I made these points out of order, but it's okay. Write these things down, and then you guys can order these in whatever order that you want to that makes sense to you. Okay? All right. So what you should do before you apply to college is that you need to make a list of the documents that the college is going to need from you that will be submitted along with your college application. Okay? So when you're applying to college, the college is going to have specific documents that they're going to need from you. Okay? One example would be they're going to need what's called letters of recommendation. Okay? And these are letters that are going to come from your high school teachers, your high school counselor, and they may even come from other people that you know, where these people are recommending you. And if you want to find out who the people are that need to write these letters of recommendation for you, then you can reach out to the college and ask them specifically who can write the letters of recommendation. If you're going to be getting letters of recommendation and you're a high school student, you have to understand that if your teachers are going to be the ones who are going to be writing these letters of recommendation for you, your teachers are going to be getting requests from other students in your class to write these letters of recommendation. So you want to request these letters from your teacher as soon as possible. You know, you want to get these letters of recommendation. I would say while you're taking the class, then get a letter of recommendation from that teacher. Okay? And then therefore, once you pass the class in high school, right? Then you have the letter. Now, what if you're somebody and you say, well, you know, I don't want to get the letter of recommendation too early. Can I get the letter of recommendation towards the end of the semester? You can do that, but everybody else may be vying for your teacher's attention. That's why I say that you should get the letter of recommendation. Get the letter, you know, maybe a month after being in your class and stuff. And actually have the teacher talk about some things, some standout things that you're doing in class. That you're raising your hand, that let's say you're volunteering to clean the chalkboard or the erase the dry erase board, that you have, that you are a part of projects in class and stuff like that. Yeah, you want the teacher to write if there's a big thing that you're doing in class, like let's say you're doing a debate in class. Okay, let's say you're helping out with a fundraiser at your school. Let's say your teacher is a part of a sports team and you happen to be somebody that you got a medal for the sport that you were in. These are things that you want the teacher to write about, and while it's fresh in the teacher's mind, have them write that letter of recommendation. Now, one thing you can do is ask colleges if letters of recommendation expire. Ask them, can I get this letter of recommendation from this teacher? And then on your high school's letterhead is where your high school is going to have the high school's name on it and stuff, and they have it on official paper, right? And they date it and sign it, okay? Have that and get you want the teacher, some teachers will just type up a letter, but you want to get it printed on the school's letterhead, and then you can have that sent to you as a PDF, okay? And then make sure you save it. Make sure you save it somewhere. Not just leaving it in your email, because emails can expire, but you want to make sure that you store it somewhere. Put it on a flash drive, file it, have your parents file it for you somewhere, so that if you need that letter, then copies can be made of that letter. But getting a PDF of that is great, especially if you save it to like the cloud or something like that. That's a good thing. Or you can save it to your Google Docs and stuff like that, and maybe even having a special place on maybe your parents' computer or your computer where you have these important documents. But putting it in the cloud or putting it on Google Docs will be really great because it'll be saved and you can come back to it years later, okay? I'm going to take a quick little break here. Give me just a moment. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and continue with this. I had to take a short little break, okay? All right, let's go ahead and continue. So, we talked about the fact that you should make a list of the documents that the college is going to need from you that needs to be submitted along with your application, okay? That's something that you should do, okay? Because this is going to help you, and it can serve as a checklist for you to make sure before you submit your college application, you check off the list and make sure you got all those documents. And we're going to talk more about those documents later on, okay? All right, let's move a little bit forward, okay? All right, so the next tip I have for you guys is get a printout of the steps of the college application process from the college directly and read those steps and familiarize yourself with those steps. If you don't understand any step in the college application process on that printout that you got directly from the college, then feel free to call the college and ask them. Now, for some of you, you may not be able to go directly up to the college because the college you want to go to may be a long distance away from you. So you can always call them. Or you can see if you can schedule a Zoom appointment with the college so that you can ask your questions to whoever the college admission staff are. So those are a couple of ways that you can do that. Or you can just pick up the phone and call them, you know. I would say for questions that you have, some colleges do have a chat feature, which if you feel comfortable going along with that, you can. But in the chat feature, if you don't want to keep, typing and stuff like that and have a long conversation, as most people know, we speak faster than we can type. Okay? And actually hearing information from a college and being able to write that down is helpful. And also being able to get information from the college and have them email you a follow-up of the conversation, so like they can give you a list, okay, is helpful. And not just a list of like the general steps in the process, but maybe they can give you clarification on what's going to be needed in an email that they send to you to explain it. So maybe if you forget what it is that the college is talking about, right, in terms of that particular step, you can go back to that email and then you can reread it and say, oh, okay, this is what they was talking about for this step. And then you remember, oh, I called them, and this is the person from that college admissions office. Okay, and it'll make things easier. And you want to make sure in your email box, you want to make sure you store it. Now, one tip I can give you guys, if you're going to be applying to college, please, please, please make sure you have a professional email. So you want to have an email that has your first name, maybe dot your last name. You don't want to have an email, you like when the college is asking where they can send an email to, like if they're sending you like these steps and like breaking down the steps for you and stuff, then you want them to send it to a professional email. So you want to have an email, your first name dot your last name. Now some of you may say, can I use my school email? Well, can you access your school email when you're at home? If you can't access your school email when you're at home, then you may want to make a Google email where it has like your first name dot your last name at gmail.com. Or it can have your last name and then your first initial at the beginning of your name, and then at gmail.com. So like let's say Johnson. So for the first example, let's say a professional email could be let's say m.johnson at gmail.com, right? Let's say if your name is Michael Johnson, then you would have your m.johnson at gmail.com. Or you can switch it up and say, okay, you can have your last name, so you could do Johnson, Johnson M, right, at gmail.com, right? Either way, you want to have a professional email so that you can give it to a college, okay? Because you don't want to have some email of something that can be offensive to somebody. Maybe you have an email that you made to kind of goof off and stuff amongst you and your friends and stuff like that. But you don't want to have an email address that's going to offend a college, because seeing that email address, they can decide and say, that they don't want you to go to their school. Okay? This is where I was talking about being professional when it comes to applying to college. Okay? Having a good professional email can definitely help. And if you needed, advice on how to make a professional email, there's some, YouTube videos out there too, that can walk you through the process of how to set up a Gmail email address. Okay? All right. So let's talk about the next step here. Okay. So we discussed the fact that you're going to have a college to print out the steps of the application process, um, and you're going to get that printout directly from them. You're going to read the steps of the application process, and if you don't understand something, then you're going to ask the college before you apply. And then prior to that, we talked about you're going to make a list of the documents that the college is going to need from you that need to be submitted along with your application. And we've already kind of talked through that, okay? For some of you who've kind of clicked through this video to kind of see, what you think and stuff, if this is a video that you should watch, I recommend you go to the beginning so you have an understanding, because with these individual points, I'm not just reading off of the sticky note, I'm also giving really helpful information and tips that could really help and save you time when you're applying to college, okay? All right, so the third step we're going to talk about is go to a college information session and get the business card from different people in the admissions office. So if you have questions during the college application process, you have several people to call in case one person is out. So I'm going to discuss this because I kind of tripped over my words a little bit. Okay, so you're going to go to a college information session. So a college information session, so colleges that, let's say in your local area, let's say you want to go to a college around where you live. Most colleges are going to have what's called a college information session. So they can have these college information sessions on the weekend, or they can have them in the evening during the week, or they can have them while you would normally be going to class in your classes in high school. Okay, most of the time they try to set up the college information sessions during times where they know people are going to be available. So they might do them on the weekend, like on a Saturday or something like that, maybe in the morning. Or they might do it in the evening, maybe like starting at 5 o'clock or something like that, p.m. And this particular event could last a couple of hours. It could last an hour, maybe an hour and a half. It totally depends. But this is an event that you go to where you can go and talk to someone in the college admissions. And this is a college admissions person. Is going to be somebody who can help you with answering your questions about the college application process. They can talk to you about some scholarships that may be available as part of the college. They can answer questions about maybe the types of students that will benefit from going to their school. They can answer a lot of different questions about college, especially if you're going to be new to applying to college. They can also give you a college brochure as well. So these college information sessions are also cool because you can get some fun college swag from the school. So you can get like pencils, you can get erasers, you can get like stickers from the college, that you can, let's say in high school, if you have like a locker or something, you can put those, in your locker. Maybe you don't want to do that because your high school may have to scrape those off, so you may not want to do that. But you can always, put them on like, you can put them on a poster. Maybe you can even get a college keychain and stuff like that. Just getting, fun little college swag can be fun. You can get like a cup. You can get a college banner. You can get all sorts of cool stuff, so that, your classmates in high school can know you're applying to college and stuff, and they can know that you're becoming, official and more grown up and all that. It'd be fun, And sometimes they'll have like candy and stuff and things when you come up and talk to them and stuff. Depending on when the information session is held, if it's held on a Saturday, they may have breakfast available. So that could be cool too. So you definitely want to find out if this breakfast is included or if they have any snacks in the evening or something. But it can be fun. It's a fun event, and the person standing behind the table at the college information session, you want that person to be your resource because you're going to need them throughout the college application process. And the people who are standing behind the table where, you see the college's name is on the table and stuff, like draped over the table and stuff, they are your resource in case you run into any problems when you're applying to college. And the more people's business cards you can get, the better. And typically on the table, they're going to have business cards with different people. You want to get the business cards of the people who are there that you meet in person, because you want to have a contact that you can speak with. And the more people that you can engage with at that table and you get their business card, you want them to remember you. One helpful tip of something you can do is so they remember you is after the college information session, what you want to do is the next day, you want to email whoever it is, even all the people you talk to that were standing at that table, whose business card you got, you want to email them and say, hey, tell them your name and tell them what you talked about. And something helpful during your interaction with the college admission staff, this is the information session, is talk about something unique. Talk about something like, where maybe you ask them about, you may ask them how long they've been with the college. You may ask them what they like most about working at the college. You may ask them if they've attended the college. You want to pick something from that conversation that person is going to remember, and then they will remember you. And if they remember you, you want to keep that line of communication open. That's why you want to email them the next day. Or you want to email them shortly after the information section. Because they're going to talk to, they're going to have, some people may come up to the table, some people may not. But you want to be that person who you have the confidence to go up to that table and you ask them something. And you talk to them. And you make friends with them. And, you ask them, something about themselves that's unique. You may say, what's something you've always wanted to do? What's a goal that you have? Like, they may say, oh, I've always wanted to travel around the world. They may share with you that, an experience that something they've recently enjoyed. Maybe they've gotten married. Maybe they've recently had a child. Maybe they're going to be going on vacation. Maybe they're going to be starting their own business, or maybe they're helping out a nonprofit organization or something. If you can, talk to them as a person and share things about yourself, they may be likely to remember you. Especially if you're somebody you say, well, I'm in high school and I'm on the soccer team, and I just got a medal for winning the championship. Or maybe you started your own club at high school, and maybe you've been, the president of that particular club, for a few years. Maybe it's your first time being treasurer of that club. Maybe you're part of the student council. If there's something that you've done, you want to talk about that when you're at that college information session so they can remember you. And then when you send an email to them and say, hey, Susie, thank you for talking to me more about the college. My name is Catherine, and I was the prospective student that told you that I play. I had the opportunity of playing at a local symphony in my community. Or I'm the one who told you that I won the championship, or that I got a medal from track and field, and then they'll say, oh, and they'll match your face to your email, and they'll say, oh, okay, and then they'll say, oh, well, hey, if you have any questions or concerns, let me know. And that's what you want them to do. You want them to remember you. And you want them to walk you through the process and advocate for you, just in case, the college is trying to decide what student to pick. And them remembering you and you being professional and stuff, they may say, to whoever the decision maker is at the college to decide what students are going to be accepted, who aren't. They can speak up for you and you can get accepted into college. How cool is that, right? That's how important it is, to really make a friend at that information session of those college admissions people. And if you go to a college fair where there's different people at different colleges, then yeah, you want to make friends with these people. And you won't be able to talk to every single college, but if you don't have the opportunity to do that, when you go to the college fair, write down something unique about each college, something you thought was interesting. Even if you can't talk to somebody, directly because there's a line, get the business card of people at the different colleges and put them in your bag. And then send a question to that person's email. And then start the conversation that way. You know, I'm just giving knowledge, guys. Just giving knowledge. Alrighty. So we're getting the business cards of these admission staff at the college information session or the college fair, right? So that we can have that information so that if we have any questions during the college application process, and you would most likely want to look over the college application first, and then if you have any questions, you can reach out to that person who you met at the information session or the person you met at the college fair. And then you can start the conversation with them. And the great thing about a business card, it's going to have their name, so you don't have to remember the person's name. It's going to have their phone number, and it's going to have their email address. And it's going to tell you the address of the college admissions office where they work at. So you can even send them an actual letter. You can send them a thank you letter for them meeting you at the college information session. And they're definitely going to remember you because very few people are going to send thank you emails to a person that's working in the college admissions that's going to be at the college information session. These are ways to, build that momentum and, get them to remember you so that you can increase your chances of getting accepted into college. Okay? And I know this video is long, but guys, I'm making this long because I want to give you tips so you can get accepted into college and it could be easier on you. All right, so the next thing, and let's talk about the part about if you're going to get business cards of different people at the college information session. You're going to get as many business cards as possible. And you're going to get as many business cards as possible because if somebody's out. So let's say you talk to somebody at the college information session. And let's say you email that person and that person's out on vacation. You get one of those automatic notifications in your email that says, oh, this person is going to be out. They're on vacation until, for the next 2 weeks or something. Okay, well, what you can do is you can get the business card of somebody else. That's why you're grabbing those business cards from different people at that information session. And you want to grab one for each person that you see that they usually have a name tag, not a first name. Grab a business card for each person that's there. If they don't have it readily available, ask for their business card. Ask, because they'll most likely have a business card for you. And they will be able to give you one. You want their personal business card so you can speak to those people. If one of those people is out, like I was saying, and let's say you email somebody and they're not available because they're on vacation for the next 2 weeks, you can email somebody else and you introduce yourself and say, hey, I attended this college information session on this particular day. It was held from this time to this time. My name is this. And, my name is Judy. And you said, well, I have a question, and I took your business card, and, you might say, well, there was no business cards on the table, so I got your business card directly from you. And they're going to remember you because there's very few people who are going to ask directly for their business card. They're going to remember you, and they're going to say, oh, sure, what can I help you with? And they're going to be more likely to stick their neck out for you and answer your question. And if, they may even ask you and say, hey, once you've submitted your college application, send it to my email and then I'll get it submitted. And I'll make sure it gets to where it needs to go. That's something that you want to happen. You want to have advocates, people that are going to be helping you get accepted into college. And you want those people to work for the college. That way, you stand a higher chance of getting accepted into when it comes to going to college. Okay? Perfect. I think we've ironed this out. All right. Let's move on. We're almost done here. Okay? So, before you apply to college, this is the next point. Before you apply to college, to get into a specific major and or minor, if you choose to, then visit the college to make sure you have a good understanding of the college application process. And if they have a college application available at that office, then start filling out the paper college application in the office while you have the college admissions staff there to help you, in case you have any types of questions. Let them review the documents. Remember those documents we talked about? Where you're going to make a list of the documents that you're going to need that go with your college application? Remember we talked about that earlier? You're going to bring the documents that go along with your college application. You're going to bring those with you. And you're going to let the college review them so that you make sure that these are the documents that the college needs. And then once they give the okay, and you know that you have the right documents, you know that, okay, my documents are good, so these are going to go along with my application, right? And when it's time for you to submit them along with the paper application or online, you know you have the right documents. So the college is not going to be saying, oh, you're missing your letters of recommendation. You already know that you have the appropriate letters of recommendation and they're correct because you have someone in the college admissions office who actually looked at them and said, yep, these are exactly what we're looking for. And they might even tell you, if you only have one letter of recommendation, they might tell you, okay, well, you're going to need 2 more letters of recommendation. Or when they read your letters of recommendation, you might notice a smile on their face and they may say, you sure are an excellent student. I'm glad you're applying. I'm going to make sure that, let me know when you submit your application online. Let me know when you do that. Email me and let me know. Or give me a phone call. Let me know when you apply, because I want to make sure that your application gets to the college reviewer, so I can let them know what a standout student you are. That's exactly what you want. That's what you want. You want somebody to advocate for you. And I know I sound like a broken record, guys, but this is what you want. You want somebody advocating for you because there are thousands of students, maybe even millions, who are wanting to get into that school. And the steps along this process is going to help you come across, like going to that information session or that college fair, getting those business cards, calling the college if you have questions, requesting a Zoom meeting, talking to the college admissions office through the chat, going up to the college, asking them questions about the college application, letting them review your documents, letting them give you recommendations. If you have a college essay, maybe having them look over it so they can give you some pointers or some tips and say, well, hey, maybe you might want to write about something different, and you still have time before you submit your application to rewrite your essay. Whatever help they can give you, accept it so that you can increase your chances of being accepted into that college. Because there's millions of kids who are trying to get into the school you're trying to get into. But you want to make sure if this is your dream college, or these are one of the top colleges you want to get into, you want to do as much as you can to get into the college. And you want to go that extra mile. Do things other students are not doing so that you're remembered, so you can get accepted. And it's no guarantee that you'll get accepted, but having somebody advocating for you at that college is going to make a huge difference. And you may get a college acceptance letter. And the college may say, we are so proud of the type of student you are, and we are looking for students like you, and we're happy to accept you into our college. That's what you want. That's exactly what you want. Okay? So yes, go visit the college. Okay? Get a good understanding of the college application process. If there's something you don't understand, ask them. And yes, fill out the college application. And most likely they're going to have college applications in their office, and ask them to print you out a copy. Sometimes they'll have a college application there. But yes, start filling it out there. If you have any questions along the way, ask them. And, you don't have to fill out the whole application, but you can scan it over, read through it and review it. If there's something you don't understand, like let's say the second page of the application, that's where you ask your question. You may understand the first page and the last page of the application, but you may not understand some things on the second page or something on the first page or something at the end of it, right? You may not understand it, but that's the time where you want to ask your questions before you submit your application, right? You don't want to be guessing when it comes to filling out a college application. You want to make sure you have the right information. Now, if the person in the admissions office, if there's something they don't understand and you may have to speak to someone else that works at the office and maybe that person's out that day, then you can always get the business card of whoever they're going to be asking the question to, get their business card, and then, send an email to that person while you're at the office and say, hey, I talked to Elizabeth in the admissions office, and she said that she's going to be emailing you about my question on the college application, which is this. And I wanted to let you know that she's going to be reaching out to you, and I wanted you to know that I'm following up with you myself so that, just in case she forgets to email you, I'm emailing you to let you know what my question is. And if you can email me back, I'd appreciate that. And you're going to impress that person, especially if they are the department manager in the admissions. They're going to be very well taken with you and how professional you are. And they may be the person who's going to be deciding which students are going to be accepted and rejected from the college. And they may be so impressed with you, they say, wow, they got my business card and they emailed me. Wow, this is the type of students we're looking for to attend our school. Right? Right. So, let the college admission staff review your documents, like your letters of recommendation or any other documents that you're going to need to make sure these are the right documents. And let them give you recommendations because you may need additional documentation if you're going to be attending college, if you're an international student, for example, or if there's other information that's going to be needed depending on your circumstance with your family. They may request additional information, and so you want to know that as well. You don't want to wait until after your application's been submitted and then the college says something is missing, because then you're going to be stressed out. You're going to be, wasting time, and you don't want to do that. You want to make sure you get on the right path to making sure that once you submit your college application, if you do all these things that I'm recommending, guys, then you're going to be on the right path. And guess what, guys? I know that there's three F's here. Let me adjust that here in this video. Okay, let me adjust that in this video because I see that. If some of you comment that there's three F's and different, it's okay. That's all right. Okay? But what you want to do is you just want to make sure you have a good grasp of the college application process. You want to make sure you present yourself well as a prospective student. A prospective student is a student who wants to attend the college. You haven't been accepted yet, but you're trying to get accepted by the school, okay? And you want to take these little nuggets of information I'm providing and do these different things so that you don't wind up being a student who doesn't get accepted and you get letters from a college saying something is missing from your application, only to find out that you could have saved yourself time and took advantage of these nuggets of information I'm offering to make applying to college easier. And there's nothing more satisfying with applying to college than to submit your college application and be finished with it. And for that process to be easy and effortless. Now, I'm not saying that you're not going to have to do work. You may have to have somebody take you to a college information session. You may have to, call the college with questions after a college information session. You may have to send emails. You may have to go up to the college and have the confidence to ask the staff at the admissions office a question. But don't be afraid. Go that extra mile. Stand out as a student. Some people may not be happy along the way, but along the way, you're making sure that you're dotting your I's, you're crossing your T's, so you make sure when you submit your application, you stand a really great chance of getting in. And if you do all this and you don't get into one college, that's okay. You can just move on to the, you can just do, chances are when you're applying to college, right? You're not just applying to one college, you're applying to more than one college. So for different colleges that you want to attend, do all these steps. And it's okay to apply to colleges one at a time. You don't have to apply to colleges at the same time. Take your time and apply to different colleges. Make sure you know what the deadlines for different colleges are. So you want to have, you want to have a little plan. Make sure you write down the colleges that you want to apply to. You want to write down their deadlines for when their college application deadlines are, when they need their letters of recommendation and other stuff. You want to write that down and you want to stick it on the wall. And or you want to do it. If you have a Google account, like where you have Gmail and stuff, and you have like Docs and stuff, put that on your calendar, and you can set it up in a calendar, maybe on your phone or in your Google Docs, and then they can send. You can get a reminder on your phone of when certain deadlines come and stuff like that. And you don't just want to have it set for the deadline, but you also want to make sure you set a reminder, maybe a month or a couple of months beforehand, or 3 months beforehand, so you submit your documents well before that deadline. Okay. And if you're in doubt about your the college receiving your letters of recommendation or something and things like that, then what you can do, you can always send your college application, send the letters of recommendation, any supporting documents, send the application with the supporting documents in a package, like in a little poly mailer that you'll get at your local post office. And you go to the post office. If you need an adult to help you, that's fine. And then you put all that in the poly mailer, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to have someone to help you send that package certified, so that when it gets mailed to the college, then they are going to have to sign for the package that has your application and supporting documents. And you're going to know when they got it, because they're going to send an email to you once. Most of the time, the post office is going to send an email to you that's going to tell you that the college has received it. Okay? And also, they're going to have tracking on that. You want to have tracking paid for, so you know where the package is going as it's being mailed. Because you could be sending your college application to a college that's like a long distance from you, and you want to know along the way where your package is and the day that it gets to the college, and also that it's been signed for certified. Okay, so you want to be able to track that, so that you don't want to have the college saying, oh, we didn't get it. You want to make sure they get it. You can also email the people that were at the college information session. Send them PDFs of your letter of recommendation, so that you know that somebody received it. And don't just send it to one person, send it to maybe 3 people, so they all have the letters of recommendation. And you want to get a follow-up email where they respond and say, okay, I got your letters of recommendation. I'll make sure they get to the right place. Okay? Just these little nuggets of information is going to help you tremendously. Okay? All right. And lastly, guys, we're at the end here. But lastly, I want to say, once you are confident enough and you feel like you're ready to submit your college application online, or you're ready to fill out your paper application, and you feel like you're confident enough to do it, go ahead and start. If you run into any problems along the process when you're filling out your college application, remember, call and ask the college questions. Reach out to those people you met at the information session. And if you didn't have the opportunity to speak to those people, still email the people whose business cards that you took from the information session with your question. Also, you can pick up the phone and call them. If you are a part of a household, maybe your family doesn't have the ability for you to have your own cell phone for you to call, then you can go to your college counseling office and ask them, can you use the phone so you can call the college and ask them questions. Okay? And be nice about it, and say, well, I want to call this college and stuff so that I can get my questions answered. And your guidance, the guidance staff might be like, "Oh yeah, sure. I remember I was in high school. That's what I did. I went to the college office or the guidance office where my counselor was talking about me going to college, and I asked to use the phone, and they was like, sure. They said, oh, okay, just use that phone over there. And they just said, oh, make sure you have the phone number to the college. Make sure you call the admissions office and make sure you have their phone number before you call them. And when you're going to call and you're going to speak to someone at the college, be confident. Be confident in your ability. And most likely, they're going to be nice. They're not going to scare you away. They're going to be real nice and stuff. And they're going to be happy to talk to you. If for some reason somebody isn't happy to talk to you, then you can always hang up, wait a little bit, maybe like 5 minutes, and then call and see if you can reach somebody else. That way, if the person on the other end is grumpy, then you can say, oh, you'll call back later. Wait about maybe 10 minutes and then call, and then somebody else may be able to answer the phone. And most likely, colleges have teams of people. They have a lot of people answering calls because they know they're going to get a lot of questions from prospective students. So it's not just going to be one person. There's going to be a team of people, a large team of people who are going to be answering calls. And so you're not going to reach the same person all the time unless it's like a really, really small college where they only have like a skeleton crew where there's only like a small amount of people. But if you're going to be calling a college that, that has a lot of students wanting to go to their school, then trust me, they're going to have a large team of people. They might even have 100 people who are answering calls. As far as, answering college application questions or concerns or college admissions questions or concern. Okay? So don't think you're just going to talk to one person unless you're going to a teeny tiny small college. Okay? Okay. So once you're confident enough and you have completed your paper college application, which will maybe be the college common application if you got it offline, or if the college provides you with a paper application. Don't be afraid to grab more than one college application from the office because you might make a mistake. My recommendation too is when you're filling out the application, fill it out in pencil, like a mechanical pencil, or you can use an erasable pen with erasable ink and stuff. And then, fill it out. You don't have to fill out the whole thing, but fill it out to where you feel comfortable. And then, if you have to start over, this is why you want to grab more than one application copy. Because this way, if you have a few different copies, you're not gonna mess up on all the copies. You want to, if you make mistakes on one application and stuff and cross stuff out and stuff on the first one, then fill it out as complete as you can. If there's some stuff that you're gonna have to get and stuff that your high school may have to fill out and stuff or whatever, then you can make a note in that section of the form and stuff of the application. And then you're gonna, once like let's say you filled it out completely for the college application, then what you're gonna do on the paper application is that you're gonna fill out a new clean copy, and you're gonna fill it out, and you're gonna make sure there's no mistakes on this one. Okay, try to fill it out with no mistakes. Okay, that's what you're gonna do. If you have one or two mistakes on there, it's fine. But you're gonna cross it out and put the information on there. Then what you're going to do is you're going to get another college application, and then you're going to fill that out, and you're on that copy, you're going to make sure you fill it out and you have no mistakes. Now you can also take some additional copies home. You don't want to take home like 10 applications, but you want to take home maybe like you want to take like 5 college applications home. And you may want to ask the college, hey, do you guys have a PDF of this application that I can download from offline? They can say yes. Just in case, let's say they don't have any available in the office, but you can download it from the website. But when you're in the college admissions office, have them print you off a couple copies, like maybe 3, because they know you're probably gonna make a mistake, right? So you want to ask for that, but find out if they have a PDF on their website, and ask them to email you the PDF of the college application to your email, so you have that exact application. from the college, because the college could change the version of the application. And so you want to make sure you get the most recent version from them, because maybe the college application in the office could be old and the one online could be newer. And you want to compare the old one and the new college application to make sure there's not a significant change. And the college most likely will accept the paper application that's an older version. They'll most likely accept that. You know, on the new version of the college application, they may move some information around, you know, but by and large, maybe it's the same application. Maybe they may have the college mascot or something on the application or something like that. Okay. So once you are confident enough and you have completed your paper college application and have the right documents, the right documents for the documents. Remember, you went to the college and you asked them to look over the documents that are the supporting documents that are supposed to go with your college application, and you had the college admission staff review those documents, and now you know these are the right documents. And if you needed any additional documentation, then you got that additional documentation. And you also want to have them review the additional documentation, so you may have to go back up to the college, right? Or you may have to email that supporting documentation to make sure it's correct. But once we know that you have the right documents that are going to go along with your college application, and you have the paper application filled out completely, and you have, you have all the information, you have the paper application, you have it filled out completely. Sure, you may have filled out maybe 5 or 10 applications and made errors along the way, but that's okay. But now you have a copy of you have a paper copy of the paper application that's filled out completely, okay? And what you do is that you transfer the information from the paper application and you transfer that to the online application. And I want to tell you something. There is no harm in mailing in your paper application. There's no harm in doing that. That's filled out completely, and then you have copies of those documents and those additional documents that you need, a part of the application. There's no harm in doing that. Okay? Remember also to make sure you have a copy of that waiver for the application fee that we talked about earlier. If you're somebody who you're tuning in towards the end of the video, please, please, please go back to the beginning, and I want you to listen to everything I've said so far so you can make sure that you benefit from this video. So you're applying to college, you have all the nuggets of information I'm talking about here. Okay? Alrighty. You're going to transfer the information from your paper application to the online application. Okay? Now, when you send your paper application, you can submit the college application online with PDFs of the supporting documents. Some colleges are going to tell you that you fill out the college application online, but they may ask you to mail your supporting documents. Remember the documents we said we had the admissions office check over where you went up to the college and had to look at them? Right. Some colleges are going to have you send those documents separately. When you send those documents separately, what I want you to do is send in your paper application along with those documents. Okay? And you're going to have a letter. And write a letter and say, I applied to college online and I've already submitted, I've already submitted the application online, but I was asked as a part of the online application to mail you these supporting documents. I included my college application so that you can find my online application, and then you have this paper application so that you can match both of them together, so that you know that where what my supporting documents go with my online application. Okay, I could word this differently, but it's okay. You just want the college to be able to know what online application to put your supporting documents with. And this is why you want to get a paper application from the college, because that paper application you filled out, you have the supporting documents with, right? And you mail it to the college after you submit the online application. You want to make sure that you have a way for the college to keep track of your college application. Sure, you're going to be sending two college applications, one online and one in paper form, along with supporting documents. Some colleges are going to allow you to upload the supporting documents. But what you want to do is you want to not only submit a college application online, right? Because that application can get corrupted. And what happens if you submit it online and the college doesn't get it because, let's say, your computer breaks or something like that, or there's a virus in your computer or something, and the application's lost. Well, if you, after you submitted the online college application, let's say you get that email, right? If somehow the online application never gets submitted or something because the college server went down or something like that, then you have that email that where it'll have a confirmation number and say thank you for submitting your college application. They may say your reference number is this, right? Okay, fine, but there's no certainty that they're going to get that digital application. They may, but they may not, you know. And so this is why you're sending your paper application with the supporting documents along with that waiver. So, and you're getting it mailed certified, and you're getting tracking. And if you need help with somebody doing that, like your parents or somebody else helping you, have them help you. Have people at the post office help you. You know, to send something certified or something if you're something you don't understand, right? When it comes to mailing this stuff and how you send something certified and how you make sure you get tracking. Most of the time, when you go up to the checkout at the post office, they're typically going to be able to help you with that, and they're going to be able to fill stuff out so it can be certified, right? They're going to ask you to make sure you can confirm the address of the college that you're sending it to, so they want you to have the right address, okay? They're going to ask you for that. So you want to have the address, you want to have the street address, where it has the city, state, and zip code, okay? They might even ask you for the phone number for the college, okay? You want to have that with you too, okay? And then sending something certified, it may cost money, but it's worth it because you want the college to sign for your application so you can confirm that they got it. And when something is sent certified, you want to make sure at the post office checkout that there's going to be tracking on it. And your parents or if your parents can't help you with it, and let's say you live with another relative, they can help you to make sure that tracking and that your package is going to be certified as well as there's tracking. Okay. Okay. And it might be a cost for that, but you're making sure the college gets your application. And you might say, well, it can be expensive if I'm sending all these college applications certified and stuff like that. Well, you can always get, a little summer job or something like that and get a little job and stuff so that, you find out how much is it to certify an application, like certify a package and stuff in the poly mailer and stuff. And you can find out how much it is. Let's say it's $20 to cert. It may not be $20. It might be $10. But you can go online. You can find out how much it is to send something certified, and then you can save up money. And then you can, let's say you save up enough where you can send maybe 10 packages to 10 different colleges, and you can make sure that all these packages are sent certified. And let's say it might cost you $10 per college, right? Well, that's okay. And then when you go to the post office, at least you have the $100 saved up, and you have it in your little checking account, and you're going to use your debit card. You swipe, of course, or maybe you have a credit card and stuff, right? And you can swipe, and then you can make sure all the applications are sent out. You want to make sure, and you don't have to send the college applications all at the same time. And for them to be certified set up for being certified all at the same time. Apply to one college at a time. That's going to make things a lot easier. And the more you do this process, the easier it's going to get for you. Okay? In terms of submitting your application. So today, guys, we talked about how to apply to college without getting the message from college that something is missing from your college application. Now, we talked through different nuggets of information. So I gave you tips on things you can do to increase your chances of your college application being received by the college, and little things you're going to do so that you can stand out to the college so that you increase your chances of getting accepted into the college. We talked about a lot of different things. We talked about the college application waiver, right? We talked about that. We talked about being professional when speaking with the college. We talked about so much, guys. I hope this video is helpful to those of you who are going to be applying to college. And feel free to share this video with your friends so that they can have an easier time applying to college. So I shared so much that there's so many things that I've talked about, guys. So much information, nuggets of information I provided, golden nuggets of information I provided, that I want you guys to benefit from this. So I hope this helps you guys. And I want to thank you for watching. And for this scenario, there are other circumstances in this college real life scenario that happens to somebody that I'm going to make other videos on. But I want you guys to take this information and use it so that you can increase your chances of getting into college and you can save yourself time. Sure, it may be a little bit of work to get your application submitted, and you might say, I just want to apply to college without doing all this. But the thing of it is that there are a lot of students who apply to college and they feel that they have a good grasp of the process and they think, oh, I just do steps 1, 2, 3 and that's all I need to do. But there's a chance you could miss something. You can miss something a part of the college application process, and then you might get a letter that says from the college, you're missing something from your college application. And then you have the headache of having to figure out what it is. And like this gentleman, when he encountered the college, then the college wasn't so helpful towards him, you know. And it doesn't mean that, let's say you do everything I'm recommending and that the college says something is missing. Well, if the college tells you that something is missing, then be nice about it and go visit the college and say, hey, something's missing from my college application. My name is this, and I submitted my application. I made sure I got everything on the deadline that needed to be sent in. What more do I need to do? They may say, oh, you forgot to sign your college application. Or they may say, oh, you know, you forgot to send you forgot to check a box on your college application. You know, it might be something simple, especially if you follow this process and follow the tips that I'm giving you guys. Okay, it may not be something major. You know, maybe there was a mix-up. Maybe there's something where one of your letters of recommendation, maybe the teacher forgot to include something. Maybe they have to sign the letter of recommendation. Well, that's something good to know because you can reach out to your teacher and you can sign it. One thing you can do while your teacher is writing your letters of recommendation, have them to sign it, have them to date it. And before you have your teacher even write the letter of recommendation, find out the requirements from the colleges of what is needed in the letter of recommendation. And then make sure that when you go to your teacher and ask for them to write the letter of recommendation for you, where the teacher's going to talk about what a rock star of a student you were, or, you know, how great you did when you got a medal on a sports team, or you're the president of the student council, or you were a part of a fundraising cause to help people or something, right? And for whatever type of nonprofit organization, right? Make sure you give that to your teacher. Give a copy of that to the teacher so they know what's going to be needed for the letter of recommendation, because your teacher may ask you, well, what is needed in the letter of recommendation, just so I know. So before I type this up on the school's letterhead, that I know. And you're going to look really great to your high school teacher when you give them the printout. And they'll say, okay, let me get a letter written up for you. And it may not even take your teacher that long to write it. So therefore, when you apply to the college, you won't get the message that there's something wrong with your letter of recommendation, because you could say, well, I printed this out from your website or the college information session. You guys gave me this sheet, the letter of recommendation and stuff. And then I had my high school teachers write this up and stuff. And they'll say, oh, okay. And they may say, oh, okay, well, we'll go ahead and accept these. We may have some new policies for letters of recommendation, but since you got this from us on this particular date, you know, we'll go ahead and honor these letters of recommendation. And then you may solve the issue with your letter of recommendation with the college without even having to be frustrated or upset or any yelling or whatever. You don't want to be yelling and being upset when you're talking to a college. You want to be even keeled. You want to be happy. You want to be friendly. You want to be nice. You want to keep it professional. You want to be the model student that they want to accept into their college. You know, even if you don't get accepted, one of the colleges, or maybe a lot of the colleges you apply to, are going to be so taken with you that you might get multiple acceptance letters, and you may be the student that you have, 10 or 20 colleges wanting you, who've accepted you to their college, and then you just have to pick which college you want to go to. That would be awesome too. Alrighty, guys. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I hope this has been super duper 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 helpful, okay? So without further ado, guys, I want to thank you for watching this video, and I hope this has been helpful to those of you, and thank you so much for watching.